So in today's show, we're going to be talking about the Olympics and the effects of mental health. Welcome to the Rise to Thrive show. I am your host, James Borman. And if you are coming through to the show and you watch it, please do let me know you're watching it. Let me know where you're from. Let me know how your weekend was. Just let me know how life's going in general. Hope you're good. So we have a proper setup here this morning. We've got the umbrella. And the umbrella's stopping the wind coming in so it doesn't affect the sound. We've got the torch. As we're getting to that time of year already, and we're going through probably the worst summer ever, of course. But we want to make sure that we're on the positive front, right? We're not going to let anything affect us. Being super positive and optimistic about the week, being hungry for the week. And it's been a great couple of weeks watching the Olympics. I don't know if you've been watching it or involved, but I guess I've always been, as a sportsman, somebody that has really been interested and emotionally involved in the athlete's journey to winning gold. And no more so this year. This year has definitely been no exception, probably even a little bit more emotionally connected to it. And what was really interesting to notice, and the biggest thing I noticed, was the post interviews, the post chats with interviewees and the BBC and stuff, and how much struggle has happened with all of those athletes, all of the struggle that's been to get to that point right there and then. And the emotion that has been let out after completing, that challenge of being in the Olympics or getting their silver or bronze or gold or just being there. And you can see that it means the absolute world to them. And you can see what a lot of them have been through. It's been a really rough ride. But it's no different to any of us, of course. We've all been through our own journey. Like, we've got nurses on the front line who have been affected massively by it. People who have lost their businesses. People who have lost their loved ones. Each one of us has a story in terms of how COVID has affected us. Now, I truly believe that obviously COVID is on the way out and normality is slowly resuming. I think that's fair to admit. It's great to see the carnival on Saturday and everyone out and about, our local carnival. It's great to see the football stadiums full up. It's great to see people out enjoying themselves. But is COVID leaving its mark in terms of mental health? Yes, I truly do believe so. And I truly believe that for the next 18 months to 2 years, many of us are going to face the mental health battles of getting back to normality, of having to deal with the disruption that we've all gone through. And we have our own parts to play in terms of picking ourselves up and bouncing back, right? Nobody is coming to save us. Nobody's going to do this for us. Nobody's going to move to 1% a day for us. So I want you to look at this in a positive light. And I want you to look at yourself and everything that's happening and be really positive and optimistic about yourself. It doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter what's happened to you. It doesn't matter how disastrous it's been, how upsetting it's been. What you have to do now is tell yourself that actually now is the time that I'm going to bounce back. I am not going to slip into that mentality where I become a victim, where I suffer in terms of self-pity. I'm going to try and be positive and counter that with positive thoughts and thoughts of optimism about my future, about rewiring my mindset, about adjusting to change, about evolving. And there will be hard days. There'll be days when it just doesn't happen. There will be days that you don't feel like it. But what we can feel like is that we are moving forwards, okay? There is obviously lots of extra help out there in terms of helping with mental health and organisations that do that. But we can do something for ourselves as well. Remember, we are in charge of our bodies and our minds. We can tell our body what to do. We can make decisions. We can show up. And it doesn't have to be huge things to start with. Okay, it can literally just be small micro wins. Like being more aware of what's going on in our mind, being more conscious about our emotions, understanding ourselves better, journaling, getting up, exercising, well-being. And when something happens, not falling into that like victim mindset, but more the positive and optimistic mindset, thinking more long-term about your future. And I think the more momentum we can build in that positive aspect, down that positive road with those positive thoughts and becoming more mentally resilient, the more daylight we put between what's happened in the last year and a half and what we're trying to create in terms of a new chapter. For many of us, for many of you, it's a brand new chapter. We're coming out of that zone. We're coming out of that period of time. Now it's time to show character. Now it's time to draw on our values and our principles and build and leverage the next chapter of our life. And being able to move forwards after everything that's happened. And kind of achieving your own bronze and silver and gold in your own life. And finding that passion for life. Finding that desire for life. And by the way, I don't expect people who are struggling right now to go, yep, I've got desire and I've got passion. I'm not saying that. I'm saying for long term, you've got to be able to help yourself. You've got to be able to just step up to the plate. Okay, be prepared to get knocked down 9, get up 10. Do you know what I'm saying? Because everyone's struggled. Athletes, I'm sure other people, every human being, everyone's a human has struggled. It's been probably the worst year for me since I left the military, dealing with mental health, stress and struggles. It's been a real tough slog, but we're working at it. I'm still showing up. I'm still doing my thing. I've got the tools and conditioning to deal with it a lot better than I did 7-8 years ago, 9 years ago. Blimey. And that is only just by persevering and working on yourself and understanding yourself and not falling into that victim slot, into those trenches. And we make sure that we are fighting for our lives, man. Do you know what I mean? In terms of the next chapter, in terms of what's next. And I think that's really, really important, guys. You got to be ready. We've got to show character now. And we've got to slowly start putting some distance between us. So I want to know what you're going to do in the next 24 hours. What are you going to do in the next 24 hours? Not the next week or the next 28 days or the next 10 years. But what you're going to do in the next 24 hours that's going to be a positive action that's going to put you on that 1% path. And if you're brave enough, stick it in the comments. What I'm going to do is do my morning routine, which is what we're here. I'm going to train. I'm going to do my journal. I'm going to make sure I'm connecting with my kids. I'm going to make sure I'm being a positive front for them. I'm going to make sure if there's anything that I'm struggling with, I'm going to talk to my other half about. They're small wins for me. Moving forwards. Because if you're not moving forwards, you're standing still. Then you start to sink. All right, guys, listen. Have an amazing week. Next 24 hours, do something that is going to help you, that is going to make a difference, that is going to guide you in the right direction. All right? Have a great week.